Many a times, clients visit you because they want to overcome a negative emotion and they want to feel better, calmer, happier. Many therapists focus on helping clients overcome these negative feelings and feel better or calmer or happier as a primary outcome for therapy. Now, these are good outcomes to start with, but not a reliable indicator for effectiveness of therapy, as feelings are fleeting, plus they are not really specific, observable, or measurable. So, what can you do to ensure that the outcome is specific, observable, and measurable? Well, you can take these 5 simple steps. Now, before we look at what these 5 simple steps are, go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that we can share more valuable resources with you that will help you develop powerful therapeutic skills. If you have already subscribed, do share the videos with other mental health practitioners on social networks and WhatsApp groups. The first step towards helping clients make their outcomes specific, observable, and measurable is to help them define a broad goal. I would generally start with asking the client to define the current situation in the format I feel dash dash about dash dash when dash dash. If you're wondering why this format, check out the video describing the steps to help clients define the problems clearly and effectively. Once the client defines the problem, next ask the client to read the problem statement a few times. Ask the client, if this is the problem or the current situation, what is the desired outcome that you would like to achieve with the help of these sessions? While the client is thinking about the outcome, I would ask the client to state the outcome in the format I wish dash dash. Once the client fills in the blank, I check whether all the key elements we discussed in the previous video are included in the broad outcome. If they are not, then I will use the questions and the process we discussed in the last video to help the clients incorporate all the key elements of a broad outcome in this wish statement. Now that we have a clearly defined broad outcome, the next steps are about helping the clients make the outcome specific, observable, and measurable. So the second step begins with asking the client what is popularly known as the miracle question. Tell the client, let's say while you're sleeping tonight, a miracle takes place and all your problems are resolved. You wake up in the morning in a world where you have achieved your desired outcome. The problem is that the problem got resolved while you were sleeping. So, when you wake up, you don't really know that you have achieved your outcome. Now, what will you see or hear when you wake up in the morning that will make you realize that the problem is resolved and the outcome is achieved? Describe the entire day the way it will be in this future once you have resolved the problem and achieved your outcome. As you ask this question to the client, allow the client to answer this. When the client is answering the question, check that the answer are related to things that can be seen or heard by them and by others, and that these answers are not just focusing on their feelings. So, if the client says that I will wake up in the morning feeling happy, ask them, what will they see when they look at themselves in the mirror that will make them realize that they are happy? What would they say to themselves or to others which will be a sign that they are happy? Once they answer these questions, ask them to describe their entire day in terms of what they will see, hear, and say. Once the client narrates the future, ask them who will notice these changes in their lives and how will they, that is the client, know that these people have noticed these changes. Ask the client to convert everything they describe in terms of what will be observable through their eyes and their ears. Can you notice what we are doing I'm sure you can. These are just some really simple yet powerful questions which, when asked skillfully, can help the client make the outcome really specific, observable, and measurable. Once the client describes the day in the future, ask the client to tell you 5 major changes that they will notice in this future. Ask them again to make these changes specific and observable by requesting them to describe these changes in sensory terms. Ask them to tell you what would be the proof that these changes have taken place. Emphasize on again what can be observed through eyes and ears, though you may also ask the client to incorporate other sensory proof like smell, taste, and sensations in the body where it is possible. You can ask the client to add numbers at places where possible. So let's say the client says that one major change in the future will be that I will reduce my weight. Ask the client how many kilos or what would their new weight be. If the client says, I will start taking time out for vacations in this future, ask the client how many vacations, in what frequency, and how long would these vacations be. If the client says, I will be able to earn more money, I'm sure you know by now what question to ask, don't you? Once the client tells you about these 5 major changes, the next step is to ask the client to tell you what capabilities and skills would they have developed in the future that they don't have today. Ask them to list the capabilities and skills, and also how they will be using these capabilities and skills in their life in future. This how becomes the way to measure whether the skills and capabilities have been developed by the client or not. The next step is to ask the client how they would feel once they have achieved all these elements of the outcome in the future, and where in the body would they feel this feeling. You have now been able to ask the client to not just define the outcome, but also help the client identify all the small and big indicators that will help you and help them assess how they are progressing in their therapy. These indicators are a lot more reliable as they require a shift not just in the client's feelings, but the actual outcome that the client is going to experience in their lives. I have worked with a really large number of clients, and many of them have earlier been through therapies with other practitioners. All of them invariably after the initial session, when they have set the outcome, have informed me that they have a lot more clarity about their outcomes and they feel a lot more confident about achieving these outcomes, as they know the specific changes that they will experience in the future, and most importantly, they know the indicators they need to notice and observe so that they know that these changes have taken place. Before I end this video, let me answer the question I asked all of you at the end of the previous video. And the question was, why is it important to ask the client to define a broad outcome before getting into more detailed specific outcomes? The reason is that the broader outcome is easier for the client to define, as the client doesn't need to provide too many specific details to begin with. The broad outcome also becomes a starting point from where you can ask the client questions to make it more specific. If you try to begin with asking the client to give you specific details, most clients find it more challenging. Once you have the broad outcome, whenever the client is facing difficulty while providing more specific details, you can help the client by bringing their focus back to the broader outcome first, and then use it as a context within which the client can provide details and help you add more specific information to the outcome. Now, 2 questions that I get asked frequently by many people is, what if the client describes an outcome that is unrealistic? And also, what next after the outcome has been defined? How do we actually help the client achieve this outcome? This is exactly what we will discuss in the next video. If you would like to be notified about the next video, do watch this space and follow us. I would also request you to join us in this mission to help mental health practitioners develop advanced therapeutic skills. You can do so by liking this video, commenting on it, and sharing it with your friends and your colleagues. If you are now ready to take the next step and not just understand these concepts but also learn them through practical application under supervision, do check out the different training programs and internship opportunities for psychologists and psychology students on the iCharts website.